Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Vermont, Ms. Balint.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The United States cannot become a deadbeat nation. We've never failed to pay our bills, and to do so now would have dire consequences on American families, including the ones living in my district in Vermont. As my colleagues have noted, we never had a hearing or a markup on HR 2811. We never got a budget. All we've got is this vague plan that was passed, and we have to try to make sense of that. So let's take a look at that. The Republican bill would potentially cut funding to low-income students at a time when we're talking about allowing people to get ahead. As a former teacher, I can tell you that cutting $4 billion for schools that serve 26 million low-income kids is going to lead to a cascade of negative impacts for those millions of kids and their families. The Republican bill would slash mental health supports for students. And at a time when we can all agree that we have a mental health crisis in this country, we should be investing more in this area and not making cuts. The Republican bill would also make college more expensive. A 22% budget cut would likely eliminate Pell Grants altogether. And it would reduce the maximum award by nearly $1,000 for the remaining recipients. So we should be making college, again, more affordable, not less affordable for regular families. And the list goes on in this vague plan that nobody will allow us to, put our finger on exactly what's going on in here. They left it intentionally vague. As a former teacher and as a parent, this is very alarming to me. Mr. Duda Gupta, can you highlight for us what the impact of the Republican cuts would be on America's public schools?
Thank you, Representative Balint. And I'll just start by noting, as you did, that we have a serious youth mental health crisis in this country. Nearly 1 in 6 youth ages 12 to 17 reported experiencing a major depressive episode in the past year. Among teen girls in 2021, the data show that nearly 1 in 3 seriously considered attempting suicide. And without adequate support for students and teachers, these statistics are only going to get worse. And unfortunately, we see cuts, as you mentioned, also to higher education, including Pell Grants, which are very well targeted, overwhelmingly to folks with lower and moderate incomes. Nearly 97% go to students in households with family incomes at or below $60,000 a year in 2020 and 2021. So that's well below the median income in the United States. And this will also hurt our public institutions, our public 2-year and 4-year colleges and institutions. But I will just sort of finally note that this is really undermining our nation's prosperity, because we know that these are investments. They are investments. Wherever you believe the money comes from, they absolutely do have a return on investment. So I really hope that folks can come together in Congress and understand that this non-defense discretionary category of spending has lots of critical funding.
Thank you so much. I am deeply concerned about all of our students. That's why I ran for office. That's why I serve. And again, I will stress about all of our students. I just want to mention something that is deeply troubling to me. A Republican witness earlier noted a few federal programs that support LGBTQ people, including kids. And as a member of that community, it's really disappointing to me that my Republican colleagues seem to delight in attacking the LGBTQ people and their families and blaming us for all things, including now, it turns out, the deficit. So I just want to put this in perspective. Yesterday, I met for an hour with parents of trans kids from across this nation, and they came from all over, from conservative districts and states, just regular families. Parents came to share their experiences of what it's like in this moment. And you know what I heard over and over again? Why are members of our own government scapegoating us and our children? Why have we become the favorite enemy when we just want the same things that all American families want? We want to live safe, fulfilling lives, and we want to support and love and protect our children. It is morally bankrupt and deeply un-American to continue to attack these kids. It's time to do our job and pass a budget that supports and protects all of our kids, all of our constituents. I yield back.
Gentlelady's time has expired. Chair recognizes